Let's consider a few things about the resurrection of Jesus. First of all, we can all agree that the resurrection from the dead is supernatural. That when someone dies for a significant amount of time and they come back to life, that is supernatural. If someone's dead for 3 days, some of you are looking at me like, well, I don't know. Yeah, it's supernatural. Any of you see anybody come back to life after 3 days? Just wondering. Good, nobody raised their hand. You always go out on a limb when you ask a question like that. Got out on a little bit of a limb there. But think back to the days of Jesus. Think back to someone who died of a heart attack or of an event in their day and were dead for 15 minutes. It would be unthinkable that anyone would come back to life. I have a friend of mine who had a heart attack and dropped over dead on the 7th fairway of Oro Valley Country Club. The friends who were with him began to give him CPR, broke 3 of his ribs, and it took 15 minutes for the paramedics to get there. When the paramedics got there, at about the 20-minute mark, they finally had the defibrillator ready to go, and they defibrillated him. Is that the right word? They defibrillated him, and his heart started again. He was dead for 20 minutes, but a paramedic brought him back to life. It's interesting that we can now attribute to men what some people won't contribute to God. If you believe that God could shake out the universe like a blanket and create us and the universe that's in it, then believing that God could give the biggest sign of all times that we would know we are going to live forever by raising the best, the greatest man who ever lived, the person who influenced this world more than anyone. There's no one alive that comes even close to influencing the world the way that Jesus did. And do you know all the way back in Abraham, God said to Abraham, I'm going to raise up from you, Abraham, a nation, and one of your descendants from this nation is going to bless the entire world. Do you know today that Christianity is the largest religion on the earth? Every nation has been blessed, and God said that to Abraham 3,500 years ago, that I'm going to raise up a nation, Israel, and out of that nation, one person who's going to bless all nations. So in that sense, I believe that it is reasonable. God created the world. People today can bring people back to life who die. God's just able to do it a lot later. God's able, and God will resurrect us all one day, which will be a lot later. Some of us, the Bible says, from dust you came and to dust you shall go. Some of us will be dust that God will bring back.